In this session, we are going to learn about the second type of complex tissue found in plants, which is the phloem. So the phloem is mainly responsible for the conduction of food material in plants or the conduction of starch, we can say. And the flow of phloem or the conduction of phloem in plants is bidirectional. That means it can conduct the food or the starch both towards the upward, both towards the upper side of the plant, that is from roots to the leaves. Sorry, not from the roots. Actually, we are talking about the food or the starch which is made in the leaves of the plant. The leaves perform photosynthesis, and that's where the carbohydrates are produced. So from leaves, it will conduct or transport the food material to different parts of the plant. So from leaves, it can take the food or transport the food to the upper parts of the plant, or from leaves, it can transport the food to the lower parts of the plant, towards the root or towards the shoot apex. That's why the direction is bidirectional. Whereas in xylem, we studied that xylem transports water only in one direction. There is only one way transport from roots to the upper parts of the plant, right? So this is an important point, please remember it. Xylem conduction is unidirectional, phloem conduction is bidirectional. Now let us study about the different type of cells which constitute the phloem. So just like the xylem, the phloem is also made up of 4 type of cells. The first one is the sieve tube. Second one is the companion cells. Then phloem fibres and phloem parenchyma. Now in the xylem, most of the parts were dead and only xylem fiber was living. In case of phloem, most of the cells are living except the fibers. So the phloem fibers are the only dead part of the phloem elements. Rest of the other parts are living. And if we talk about gymnosperms, then gymnosperms lack sieve tubes and companion cells. So sieve tube and companion cells will not be found in gymnosperms. Instead, in gymnosperms, other cells are found. In place of sieve tubes, sieve cells are found. In place of companion cells, albuminous cells are found. Alright, so that's the difference between the phloem of angiosperm and gymnosperm. We are basically studying about the angiosperms, right? So in angiosperm, sieve tube and companion cells will be present, whereas in gymnosperms, sieve tube and companion cells will be absent and sieve cells and albuminous cells will be found there. If we talk about monocots, then monocots lack phloem parenchyma. This fourth element, phloem parenchyma, it will be absent in monocots. Alright, so this is also an important point to remember. Now let us learn about the 2 important components of phloem, that is the sieve tubes and companion cells. So if we talk about the sieve tubes, then sieve tubes are long and tube-like elongated cylindrical cells with perforations at their end plate. So these are the end plates of sieve tubes and they have perforations like this. These end plates are called sieve plates. And these sieve plates have perforations. The cells of these sieve tubes, they have peripheral cytoplasm and a large central vacuole, and they lack nucleus. A mature sieve tube cell lacks nucleus. So, how is this the different functions of the cells are controlled if they lack nucleus? So what happens, the companion cell, which is the other type of the cell found in the phloem, it associates with the sieve tubes and controls the functions of sieve tubes. So the companion cells controls the functions of sieve tube elements or sieve tube cells. Alright, so they have sieve tubes, sieve plates, which are the end plates that have perforations, and the sieve elements are arranged longitudinally like this. This is one sieve element. Then it will be connected longitudinally with the other sieve element like this. Alright. There will be perforations at the end plate. These are called sieve plates. So that is how a long tube of sieve tube connections will be formed inside the plant. Alright, and the cytoplasm is peripheral. So this is the peripheral cytoplasm. That means the cytoplasm is only present at the side and it does not take much of the space. The much of the space is the central vacuole through which the water will pass. Alright. Now the other type, which is the companion cells, they are present laterally in close association with the sieve tubes like this. These are the companion cells. So this is the nucleus of the companion cell, and as we just studied that the sieve tubes lack nucleus and hence the companion cells controls their function. So these companion cells have nucleus and they control the functions of sieve tubes. Besides that, the companion cells also help in maintaining the pressure gradient of sieve tubes. So let me write down here companion cells. They help in maintaining the pressure gradient. In sieve tube elements. So what happens whenever there is conduction of food through these sieve tubes, that might generate the pressure against the walls of the sieve tubes. So that pressure is maintained by the companion cells. Alright, so these companion cells are connected to the sieve tube through a common longitudinal walls called pit fields. So these pit fields are the common longitudinal walls that these companion cells and sieve tube share with each other. Alright. So this was about the companion cells. Let us talk about the phloem fibers. These phloem fibers are also called bast fibers, and they are just like the other fibers, sclerenchymatous. That means they will be dead, their cell walls will be thick and lignified, protoplasm will be absent, right? So the phloem fibers are not found in the young or the primary phloem, they are found in the secondary phloem, which is found at the later stages of plant life, at the maturity, right? And some of these phloem fibers or bast fibers are used commercially like hemp, jute, and flax. These fibers have commercial usage. Alright, so there's nothing special about these phloem fibers. They are just like the other fibers which are dead and provide mechanical support, and they are sclerenchymatous. Now moving on to the fourth part, which is the phloem parenchyma. So these phloem parenchyma are long and cylindrical cells. Their cell wall is made up of cellulose, they have dense protoplasm with nucleus, and they are connected to each other through pits. Alright, so since parenchyma mainly is involved in the functions of storage and secretion, so this phloem parenchyma stores food along with raisins, latex, and mucilage. Alright, so let us look at this figure where we studied about the sieve tube and companion cells. So just beside these companion cells we will find phloem parenchyma cells like this, which will be long and cylindrical with tapering ends connected to each other like this on both the sides of these companion cells, like this. And these cells have pores in between them through which they have a connection so that they can transport the food material between each other and also between the parenchymatous cell and the companion cells to other parts of the plant. Right? So these are the phloem, parenchyma cells, and the other parts are clear to you, I hope. This was the companion cell, and this was a sieve tube. The fibers will also be present in these association, and that's how these 4 type of cells work as a single unit to form a phloem. Alright, and they help in the conduction of food material bidirectionally towards the upper side of the plant as well as towards the lower side of the plant. And the phloem parenchyma is absent in monocots, as I told before. Alright, so this was all about the phloem and the type of cells present inside the phloem. So I hope it is clear to you. Now let us talk about the protophloem and the metaphloem. So what is protophloem? Just like the protoxylem, protophloem is found in the early stages. And they have very narrow lumens. Narrow sieve tubes. The sieve tubes in the protophloem or the phloem which is found in the early stages of the plant or in the young plant, they will have narrow sieve tubes. Whereas the metaphloem, which will be formed at the later stage of maturity, it will have wide sieve tubes. Alright, so found, instead of found I should write formed. So protophloem has narrow sieve tubes and metaphloem has bigger sieve tubes. Both will be differing in this manner along with the stages in which they are found in the life of a plant. Alright, so this completes everything about the phloem, and along with that we complete the complex tissue found in the plant, that is xylem as well as phloem. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you so much.